anyways. Oh my gosh. Okay, so one more time. Hey guys, you are watching. Hey, you're watching Hook, Line, and Thinker, the April 2023 edition. I'm DJ D Phoenix, the co-host of the show. This is our podcast here on the Groove Zone Network, and this is the April 2023 edition. It's going to be a good program because we'll have a lot of the panelists on with us. We're not going to hold off, though. I'm going to get us going right now because with me already, I've got Artsy Marci.
Hi.
Hi, Artsy Marci. How are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
Hanging in there.
Good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And I like your backdrop, by the way.
Yeah.
And I hope I've got the pronunciation of this right. Is adrenochrome.
Oh. Hi, hon.
Oh, yeah. That's sauce.
I just jumped in on the podcast.
Did you just say sauce?
How are you?
Walnut sauce. That's what they call it.
They call it what sauce?
Walnut sauce.
Why do they call it that?
The gland is about that big, which happens to be about the size of a walnut.
What, did they extract it from?
I guess they could have called it golf ball sauce, but
Well, they called it a lot of things.
I didn't get to say it.
So, is anybody familiar with adrenochrome then?
With the
James is shaking his head. James is nodding.
yes, I am.
adrenochrome.
Okay. Dunk, are you? You don't know the adrenochrome thing?
Adrenochrome?
I think I'm pronouncing it right, yeah. Diggler.
Well, that has adrenochrome is that's a substance. So
You know what it is, though?
yeah.
Stuff from trauma infants.
Well, depending, but
You get
talking
drilled
about
in-
tapping
it's
the
drilling gland.
pineal gland, or
Here we go. Yeah, and this is a short one, too, so...
Cool.
Werewolf
You're finding some good stuff.
or wolf?
I've seen this one. That's a big ass wolf. I think it's a wolf, but it's big.
But now we're talking... Are you talking about what's in the tree line or what's by the road?
Oh, that's a moose right there, right?
Yeah.
I was confusing it with that one where the wolf crosses the road.
No, the one that it's talking about is off just to the left of it, and it's here it comes.
Yeah, here it comes, right? And it looks ghostly. So
Yeah,
that
but he was doing the whole swaying thing a minute ago, though.
right, to see that swaying thing, you know what that pertains to from what's being said out there is the skinwalkers or the crawlers.
Because that's what they do?
Yeah, their crawlers are the ones that mimic that they're trying to basically apprehend. They're God knows what they are.
But now that's not the rake.
That's what it looks like. I
'Cause
think
that looked
that
like a rake.
people at this point right now cannot accurately identify, even if something is actually there, they can't accurately identify significantly individual sightings and stuff, because we don't really know. What do we know about them? We know a bunch of words and we know things that we don't understand that we see. So I mean, that's kind of how it's getting categorized, though.
And this kind of hits on something that we were talking about a little bit ago too. It's the way that our minds actually, we only know how to comprehend so much, and then anything outside of that norm is when we kind of, it's like your brain kind of starts to like figure out, okay, well, what is that?
When imagination takes over.
Right. There's also a
The opposite.
what's that?
The opposite of the creative brain is the want to compartmentalize.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What a child, when seeing these identifiers without, meaning these things, with
Jews who own things and own everything and all this different stuff. And it's pretty wild how much people are talking openly about this, which is interesting. They say it's about 55% of people think that Jews own too much. I mean, it's kind of a big deal when you're talking about throughout America. I mean, it's kind of strange. We've always kind of been Israeli friendly, so it's interesting. I think it's what they said, about 55% of the people, and it's interesting. So I don't know. It's just, I guess the thing what I'm getting at is because the biggest thing that happens before the end times, speaking of the Christian doctrine, was just that the tribes of Judah, there was 2 tribes, there was 8 tribes to the south and 2 tribes to the north of the 12 tribes of Israel. The 2 were considered the remnant. That's who Jesus was talking about sending the shepherd out to get. They said they would be called home right before the end. And the interesting thing is, when all the Jews left the Ukraine, when the invasion happened, guess what? They didn't go back to Russia. They went back to Israel.
Right.
We're talking like 1 million Jews. So there was a lot. And there's people, the interesting thing is there's a huge Jewish movement, right, regarding what the Christian doctrine believes as the Messiah, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
In fact, I caught something last night. I want to say it's in Israel. You're right, though. There is a big movement happening right now, especially among the young Jews, to introduce them to the Messiah. And it's coming from...
Yeah.
Right.
The thing is that the average person wouldn't even recognize that if they weren't looking for it. That's the interesting thing, which goes back to what Yeshua's word was, which was keep your eye on the sky. You know, you have to be looking for it. So, interesting.
Right.
Anyway, with the Euphrates thing, I mean, if you can't, the interesting thing, since I was 12, I've always believed that we would see Russia and China team up. That's who I considered to be Gog and Magog, and they would march across the Euphrates River, and that's what you're seeing is a huge team up right now between China and Russia. So it's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was just a big meeting a few weeks ago between Xi and Putin.
Right.
And
big deal.
That was a little scary to see.
That was a big deal, and
there's supposed to be some ludicrous number of 65% of all people in the U.S. that come up missing. Come up missing in state parks, and 65% or something like that. It's up there. It's way up there. Come up missing in state parks. And then of those 65%, 85% of them are children.
Wow.
And yet if you go to DNR to try to get a record of, in any park, record of missing persons or happenings, there's nothing on record. There's nothing that you can get for the public. Dave Paulettis, the one who did Missing 411, that fella, he went so far as to ask how much he would have to pay for a list in this, I think it was Glacier Park. And they said it would cost, it's just $11,000 or something like that.
For a list.
For them to prepare him a list. And, it gets one thinking, why would they, if this is all legit, why would they be covering it up? And I think that the only thing that you come up with is, it would really show you how money hungry and greedy these powers that be that run things around us are, because it's going to, at 40% loss, it would destroy the park visiting trade.
And that's the main reason.
That's my theory on.
I was going to say that's the main reason why they're.
Bigfoot.
Park rangers aren't supposed to be talking about this at all. That's what it was. Park
rangers are either hushed up, don't know. Yeah.
Does anybody happen to know?
You would have to go to DNR. DNR, huh?
Does anybody here happen to know someone that is a park ranger?
I have a friend that's retired that
would you
was a ranger down in Oregon.
Would you invite them onto the podcast at their convenience?
He's 80, so I'll try.
Bounce it off of him and see what he says.
Actually, This guy actually, I think he's 83,
Okay.
and it was one of the people that worked on putting the Smokey Bear campaign together.
Oh wow, I had
Really?
one of those.
It's not Smokey the Bear; it's just Smokey Bear.
Smokey Bear.
Yeah,
Okay. Wow.
but he's a hoot.
Powers to do something like that, but at the same time, I'm asking myself right now, are they just completely not aware that the Nephilim and stuff like that are for real? I mean, it's a matter of acceptance, and
They have to be. You would think.
or is it just a big myth to them they're playing on, and they're going to get the big surprise at the end?
Yeah. How many of them? Yeah.
You know, because maybe there never was any of that BS found that they're talking about. Giants, the skeletons, and stuff like that. Maybe it was found. Maybe they think it's past. But I mean, why I'm asking myself is why would they, unless they're just trying to push the agenda through, which I guess is completely possible, knocking out posing.
This is interesting, and I think that I actually caught the part of it. If not, we'll have to go over it tomorrow, maybe, if it's not on with us tonight. Another thing that John D'Souza said, which is actually that the ultimate goal for them, the reason why they're doing this, is for ultimate control.
Yeah.
That's what they want. Control over the financial, everything.
It also makes sense too, because they've made so many enemies. It's perpetuated through the media over the years. In the mid to late 80s, you started seeing people from the Middle East as the bad guys and the boogeymen in films, and it kept on going on through the 90s and stuff that movie True Lies, I think, with Arnold
Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, the bad guy was a Middle Eastern guy, and it's and so they're running out of boogeymen, so they got a new one, and he's a little green man.
But then again, though, too, when you stop and think about it, these movies have perpetuated it. It's been happening since the 50s.
Oh, yeah,
it was almost more so back then. When you stop and think the differences in technology, think about the amount of invasion from outer space movies that there were between the 50s, 60s, kind of dwindled off a little bit in the 70s, but especially that shortly after the atomic era, there were a lot of movies around at that point. Now it shoot up 50 years or more, and that's where we are today. And it's that part of it doesn't surprise me. Another thing he said too was he doesn't believe that the holograms are going to play in it as much as what we've talked about. Because I know one of the last times you were on with us, Dizzy, we were talking about the G5 or 5G.
That was unveiled right in front of me. And one thing I realized about and read about is that these Satanists really love to hide in plain sight. They love to do evil stuff, completely unimaginable to anybody with any sense of goodness.
That's their whole. That's their whole basis.
It is, and I've only dealt with at this point. I've dealt with the, and I don't want to talk about politics, but it's been the liberal side.
That's the other side.
And it's because of it's because of their victimizational, and even in this is what ancient magic has been doing. These are people protecting themselves from the very planet they are standing on, and it is not working. And they are being unveiled. And the evil you are seeing being unveiled is the very planet and the goodness in the individual holding the shame, placing it back into the victimizer via the sound wave.
It worked for long enough that now it's a juggernaut.
And you're right, and that's because they did not know it was source, and they did not know what they were using, and that's why I never touched it.
Okay, but I want to stay relevant, and I'm not saying that you're not relevant to the footage, but I want to say I did on this footage. Jeff, you and I've already had our interview, so and I need to stick as close to this as we can. Seriously, because 40 minutes goes by real quick. In regards to that clip alone. Now, I don't know if anybody else caught this, but you might have seen down at the bottom, and I think TikTok might have been the source, but I don't remember. But it said something about the juice, JOOSE. Well, that looks like something that somebody like actually like edited in. And if you look at just the video footage itself, taking out the audio, I'm almost wondering if somebody hasn't doctored this.
It's possible.
There. I mean, now that's
it's possible, but we're hearing a lot about it.
Right, and that's not to say that what Jeff is saying isn't true, because it very easily, I know that it more than likely is. But
they go on that rule if they don't want that shocks you so much you can never believe it.
Yeah, and that's the whole. That was the very first person to come up with the whole concept. That was his statement. Who put it in front of their face so that if those that do see it, the world will think they're crazy.
Yeah.
Right.
You want to for your own safety.
Okay, so for dissecting purposes, though, nobody in the video actually you hear them speak.
Right.
No, it's like they're
About Dogman, though. I want to find out if there's any new Dogman stuff.
We always like to talk about Dogman.
Is there any more news on the Fresno pants?
I wish.
Huh?
Oh my gosh, I totally wish. Those are some flippin' freaky things.
Yeah.
That they never have explained.
Anyone heard of the? Oh, sorry.
No, go for it.
It's an old text. I think it might be one of the oldest ones. The Enuma Elish.
Yeah, you're talking about the way back, yeah.
What you call me?
Topic because they mentioned like the Euphrates
pre-Babylonian.
Yeah, and then another thing, like if you just look at like the course of like history, it really does like it does repeat itself, and like and the media are big. They're big on that, and so like people just seem to just like swallow it, hook, line, and thinker.
Yeah.
Does it mean that maybe it means Eliana's coming back?
Eliana.
Oh.
Eliana Trump?
No, that's the that's like the one of the oldest gods on record. That
Sumerians?
Yeah, like way pre-Babylonian, pre-Mesopotamian. One of the bigger. It's one of the ones that, one of the major. Well, one of the ones that's unwritten. I guess you'd have to say on written religion, because
I caught part of one of these conversations on TikTok. I recall.
Yeah.
Did you guys say Assyrian?
It's down that line. It's through Middle East, but that's where they have those first written forms of language where they're tracking these stories. Otherwise, you're dealing with oral stories. So
that would be all Sumerian, right?
Pardon?
Sumerian?
Sumerian, Assyrian.
Being used in the fillet of fish.
I've heard people in the food.
What's that?
I've heard people in the food.
That's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, I'll tell you this much. If it's true, we ain't bad.
Okay, if you take all the kidding and out of that, put that aside, that's really gross.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, do you remember the movie Soylent Green? Or the
I
book?
sure do.
You don't?
I sure do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay, because Trent hadn't heard of it before, and so I was just telling him, one of the videos that we're going to watch tonight, and it's only like a 20-second clip, and I can't find the source. It's a newsreel that talks about them liquefying corpses and putting it into the food system.
Talks about what? Say it again.
Okay, so because we're running out of space on Earth for cemeteries, like there's just not room to like bury everyone anymore. What they supposedly are doing now, and I don't know how somebody gets elected or voted in to be able to be liquefied, but suppose kind of like the cremation thing. They're liquefying bodies supposedly and putting it in food.
Yeah, and also using it as compost on our crops.
Now that I've heard before. Actually,
Yeah, I've heard that too.
Right. Well, kind of like, isn't there something out there? Well, Diggler.
What's up, baby?
Oh, good. The gang's showing up. Hey, buddy.
What's up?
How are you?
Sorry, dude. I lost track of time.
Totally fine. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here.
I'm here for 9 and 10. So.
Because I can only visualize if that is what it is. If it is the angels that were bound there, and they've been down there for a couple thousand years, I'm sure that they're probably really pissed by now.
Yeah.
But the way, I mean, you can hear it in their voice though too. It's hard to understand the relationship between one of the fallen angels and God because they left him.
Yeah, they left their habitation.
Right.
They bounced.
Or they were banished.
Right. But they were banished because of their own rebellion though.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's so they've had that interaction with the biblical one true God. And so that's what it trips me out, because it's like, what do these things look like? How many are they?
I don't know.
That's what they sound like.
Is that what they sound like?
They sound like Oz's car.
Can you hear it?
Wait, what we were seeing a minute ago. We're leading up to the Euphrates River and what's going on underneath, because the puppies are basically all totally dried up. And there's been some really funky, weird stuff out in the news, and of course on YouTube about it.
But there has been actual events spoken of on the news.
Starting about 4 months ago.
That's very cool.
From what I can
I'm
tell.
late on this one. I'm really late, so I'm not going to have a lot to be able to say on it. But I'll tell you what, I thumb through every once in a while, and I see just some captions, and man,
there's trippy stuff going on.
If it's for real,
If
it's for real, yeah, true. I mean, because there's always that chance, as we all know, that
Well, usually when something's repeated on that many platforms and in that many instances, it usually has some substance to it.
You would think the festival, they wouldn't come back.
I mean, you really would.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Well, we haven't actually had this guy on with us for a while, so this will be nice. And hopefully Doug will be able to pop on at some point. Dizzy.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Hello.
Hi, how you guys? It's been a while, huh?
It's been a little while.
Yes, I'm back. I'm back with my technology.
That's nice.
So this is this like Dizzy 3.0?
It's Dizzy. Actually, it's Dizzy like cauliflower Dizzy. 6.0. You've got like 6 arms now.
Nice.
All right.
Don't dip out for too long, though.
All right. 10-4 copy.
Okay, so this.
I can still hear you. It's cool.
Oh, this is trippy.
No, I want to see it now. You got me coming back. I see what that is. It's a cop.
On the outside, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen one before.
You can't see the image in the door?
Yeah, I see that thing that's inside.
Okay.
It's inside, and he's checking it out because there's obviously alarms going off or something.
Right.
He's ready to shoot.
Somehow they were alerted, and it's more than just him, though. That looks like a couple of units were called out. But that thing definitely does something as it comes down off the counter.
Yeah, it's probably gonna come get him.
Well, that's why he shot. That's why he fired his shots.
Oh, he did fire shots?
Yeah. I think he goes through the door, and another officer comes around the corner. Okay. Well, according to not only the Book of Islam, the Muslim religion, but also obviously Christianity, there's a lot wrapped up in the Euphrates River mystery. And I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Book of Revelation.
More than that, but yes.
Okay, I'm thinking of the one reference where it talks about the angels that are bound.
That one, I know which one you're talking about. I can't quote it verbatim, but I know which one you're talking about. But I know that the Gog and Magog traveled across the Euphrates River into the Valley of Armageddon. So, yes.
Right. Something about the kings of the East. Once the river dries up, that'll be the way for the kings of the East to advance on Jerusalem.
Absolutely.
Okay.
There's much historical doctrine there that goes right along with it.
Okay. Well, I don't know if anybody's caught any of this, but and some of these are pretty recent, as of even within like the last week or so. But now there's videos popping up on YouTube. There's noises coming from underneath the Euphrates. And yeah, they don't know if it's quote unquote machinery. And we'll replay the video a couple of times so you guys can like really hear it really well.
Yeah.
These are like moans. And it's some trippy stuff. So anyway, we're gonna hit on a few of these things.
This is about as offbeat, off base as it possibly gets. We started a few years ago, a podcast with Dub Effects off of YouTube. I don't know if you're familiar with him or not. Amazing recording artist, Dub Effects. You should check him out. Anyway, what was only going to be like a small handful of original discussions turned out to be like well, we're still doing it. It's going on 3 years now. This podcast that has to do with everything from like conspiracy theories to cryptids to aerial phenomenon, and you name it. I mean, it any kind of like left field topic that there's out there, we'll cover. So I want to ask, have you ever in all your travels, whether it be back in Indiana or Florida or here in Washington, have you ever had an experience with, or do you believe in UFOs?
It's funny you ask that because I do. Me and my wife actually have a friend that comes from Olympia sometimes to visit us, and we will sit in our kitchen for hours talking about conspiracy theories and aliens and ghosts. So I believe there's something else out there. Okay.
But you've never personally seen anything though that you're aware of.
I want to say I've seen things, but you take somebody that doesn't believe in it and you try to explain that what you saw, they're gonna look at you crazy. So I tend to keep it to myself until I talk.
But that's not to say that things still can't take place.
Are you not given angels?
What's that?
Were you not given angels?
Yeah, and he's gonna have a word with me when I finally meet him one of these days.
Yeah, I had like a shitload because I haven't burned through them yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, they've gotten more than 9 lives. I know that.
I've done some jacked up shit. I should be done with them, but yeah, they haven't bailed on me yet.
Right.
That's good.
They've ridden with me on a couple of adventures through some ditches and craziness that yeah.
I could just see your angels hollering upward. I didn't buy into this.
Yeah.
Somebody tricked me.
Yeah.
Isn't there a less severe one?
I was told I got like a double stock, so.
Oh, really?
I must have had, because I burned through them before I was like 6.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those angels are some pretty amazing beings, though.
Oh, yeah.
I think that we only all get one.
Really?
I don't know. Maybe.
Mine's tough as shit then, because
Who said we just get one?
I don't
he
know.
did.
I did.
I had to have at least 40. Now I had to have a legion probably, because my near deaths and everything else. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't know. Is there anywhere where it says how many are assigned? I don't think so.
Well, no, I just think I was privileged. I got a shitload of them.
Whatever. Yes, you are privileged. You're pretty.
I was privileged because, yeah, my family said I shouldn't have made it through. What? Shouldn't have made it through high school at least. But yeah, they told me they were like, I was having a discussion. They're like, at 20 something, they're like, you should not have lived this long. All the shit that you did. Yeah, I had too many near accidents, and I had a shitload of angels.
Maybe you're gonna end up being a preacher one of these days.
I was going to say that there's something amazing that you're still here for.
Yep.
It might be. I don't know.
Very easily.
Yeah.
Hey, Sponge.
What's up?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm here. I'm alive.
Good. And I'm glad.
Woke up with my parts.
Woke up with your parts?
Yeah, woke up with all my parts. I
All right,
think.
well, if you don't have your own parts, you'll find tonight that you'll be able to actually order up your own.
What?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about body sleeves.
Is that like
Okay.
body snatchers?
I think
You
it's
said
the
body
next best
sleeves,
thing.
not body snatchers.
No, but I think it's the next best thing. I just ran across this today, and I'm like, I think we need to talk about this. And one of the other
Body
things,
sleeves.
body sleeves, human
Okay.
body sleeves.
Yeah.
There's companies out on the market already that have them ready to go. That what they'll do, they'll put a device in the back of your neck, and what it'll do, it will absorb and collect all of your traits, characteristics, your likes, dislikes, memories, and everything. And then that way, when you're done with what you've got now, you can just transfer it into this new body, and they're all rather well defined.
Have you watched the series Altered Carbon?
That's what it came from, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. And no, I haven't. What is
Okay.
I mean, what?
That's the premise. The premise is they record you, download you, and essentially slap you into a clone at some point.
What
So-
network or what site is that on?
I believe that's Netflix.
Is it? Okay. So is it what,
Yeah.
like a documentary kind of series then, or?
No, it's a sci-fi.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
It's total sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like takes place in, I don't know, like probably 1,500 years from now or whatever.
Oh, well, that's available at your mall,
Yeah.
your local mall today. Hey, Sponge.
What's up?
Not much. How you doing?
I'm here. I'm alive.
Good. And I'm glad.
Woke up with my parts.
Woke up with your parts?
Yeah, woke up with all my parts. I
All right,
think.
well, if you don't have your own parts, you'll find tonight that you'll be able to actually order up your own.
What?
Yeah, because we're going to talk about body sleeves.
Is that like
Okay.
body snatchers?
I think
You
it's
said
the
body
next best
sleeves,
thing.
not body snatchers.
No, but I think it's the next best thing. I just ran across this today, and I'm like, I think we need to talk about this. And one of the other
Body
things,
sleeves.
Body sleeves, human body sleeves. There's companies out on the market already that have them ready to go. That what they'll do, they'll put a device in the back of your neck, and what it'll do, it will absorb and collect all of your traits, characteristics, your likes, dislikes, memories, and everything. And then that way, when you're done with what you've got now, you can just transfer it into this new body, and they're all rather well defined.
Have you watched the series Altered Carbon?
That's what it came from, I think.
Yeah.
And no, I haven't. What is the? I mean,
that's the premise. The premise is they record you, download you, and essentially slap you into a clone at some point.
What network or what site is that on?
I believe that's Netflix.
Is it? Okay. So is it like a documentary kind of series then, or?
No, it's a sci-fi.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
It's total sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like takes place in, I don't know, like probably 1,500 years from now or whatever.
Oh, that's available at your
Yeah.
local mall today. Okay, cool. I know what I wanted to ask. Did you get a chance to check out Dub Effects?
Yeah, I only got to check out that one song you sent me.
Okay.
Man, hey, he killed it.
For somebody that started out as basically a busker, a street musician, and he would have his setup out on the sidewalk, he was doing it in different areas around the world. All of his success is solely off of YouTube.
Really?
And, he's another Bieber story. I would almost say parallels Bieber, but obviously different genre. Anyway, and he was my co-host, because that's where we're going to kind of turn with this line of questioning now for a few minutes. He was my co-host on the Hook, Line, and Thinker podcast for a little while when it first started. His manager is the one that gave it its name. He had been a special guest, and I was only expecting a one-off conversation with him, and turned out to be almost 2 months of really off-the-wall conversations with some kind of conspiracy theory type topics and all this kind of fringe stuff, and almost 3 years later, and it's still a viable entity. So,
that's awesome.
Which leads me to my first of the couple of weird questions. Shiloh, I want to know: has there ever been any point in time in your life where you either looked up at the sky, or you ever had any experience, encounter, or whatever, with any kind of aerial phenomenon that you couldn't explain?
I've had a whole lot of friends talk about it, and some people it seemed like it was almost data about it, but personally, I haven't. That is, nothing I've ever encountered.
Okay. So, good. And then there's no right or wrong answer on that, obviously. But then I have to ask then, what is your opinion about the UFO phenomenon?
Man,
especially in light of the fact with your faith, because this is something that I think about every single day.
Yeah, and I don't blame you either. Oh gosh. I believe a lot of it's testing that we don't really know about, just government keeping stuff quiet. But I don't know. I'm never going to claim that I know exactly what's going on. So I think, so that would be.
Has anybody heard anything about the blue light triggers?
Blue light triggers now.
Yes, it's blue light, blue or purple light that they use. And it started out, they were using it on chickens for. Okay, so what it is, listen, for what it is,
I'm going to grab the chicken.
They use it.
In eggs. They want hens, because hens lay. Roosters do nothing for egg output, right? So what it is they've been relying on the natural instincts of the hen to, on occasion, pick out the roosters, because they know ahead of time. They know what it's going to be. They can pick into an egg a rooster.
Oh.
Since they know this, they want it to happen regularly, so that they don't have to, collect the eggs and get rid of them. It's a big Big deal. So
They used to use that at Kmart when they had stuff
What?
They used to use that at Kmart when they had stuff they wanted to get rid of. It was called the blue light special.
Blue light special.
And it worked.
Yeah,
Old
but-
ladies would flock there and buy all this
Shit.
garbage.
They use these blue lights to initiate the chickens. I don't know what they do to the chickens prior, whether there's any preparation or something. I'm sure there is some kind of preparation, but they hit this blue light, and a couple times a day the hens will go through where they're laying and start picking these roosters, these cocks out of their nest. And there's already, if you'll notice, there's every in some places there's like every 10th street light is blue light. It's just weird. Check into it, Darren. I know you're good.
And in parking lots as well.
Well, they've got those up here now, but that's I don't know. They're saying that it's for security.
Yeah,
sure.
they're
The
already
predisposed.
getting
That's
back
the predisposed.
Go ahead, Digger.
The predisposed notions at Walmart were skirts and Pall Malls.
Okay.
Yeah.
And layaway.
Let's see what happens.
And Digger and layaway. Okay, so Kmart blue light special and layaway.
Well, we've been joined by the cock of the walk.
Anyway,
Who's there?
He even sounds like a chicken.
Who's there?
It's the chicken.
I knew that was coming. It's always a chicken.
It's always the chicken.
Always a chicken. Now, what? Okay, so do they have the blue lights where everybody's at now?
they have them in parking lots.
Well,
They're harvesting it from small children that are terrorized before put to death.
Oh, is that what it is?
Then their blood is full of it.
It's bashing the heck out of a seagull.
Well,
yeah. So
probably me.
Okay.
It's awful small.
It is awful small. I don't know if I can get it any bigger. Well, it might go bigger. And as far
So
as
she said.
goes,
Oh.
is there? Oh yeah. Okay, so I'm going to rewind it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah, I've seen that one. I don't know what it's about though.
Wow, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it's at the top of that pole, just banging on it.
Yeah, I don't think it had much of a problem getting to the top of that pole either.
Yeah, probably not.
Like a primate of some sort.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, as far as we can tell right now, it could be a known scientifically documented primate.
Yeah.
Yeah, some kind of big monkey.
Pissed off, big monkey.
What?
Monkey.
My cracker.
Some kind
So
of big...
yeah, what do you guys think? That, I mean, it isn't a real close-up, so you can't see extremely well. I
Well,
don't
it depends. Where was it done at? Where was it taken at?
Very little information.
Because the wingspan of a seagull is maybe 3 to 4 feet, something like that.
Is that all?
Yeah, it's not that big.
They're pretty well.
Okay. So
Yeah, I would like a closer up shot of that thing. Whatever. I mean, that's
So would I.
whatever it is. That's a great.
Tap your
I believe
screen.
That's Netflix.
is it okay? So is it what,
Yeah.
like a documentary kind of series then, or?
No, it's a sci-fi.
Oh, it is. Oh, okay.
It's total sci-fi.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like takes place in, I don't know, like probably 1,500 years from now or whatever.
Oh, well, it's available at your mall.
Yeah.
Local mall today.
Yeah, it's way in the future.
No, it's not.
But they've been.
It's pretty dystopian. It's like they argue the point of. So it's interesting because they argue the point about if you go ahead and sleeve yourself, or is that going against God's premise, and is it appropriate? And it's like, but they're all, they're spread out across multiple planets, and different people have different opinions. So, yeah, it gets really interesting because it's like, well, it's available, so did God not mean it to happen? Then would he just wipe it out? So there's a lot of questions to ask there. And it's like, but you get to talk to your ancestors because they get to sleeve in every once in a while, depending.
What if it wasn't available during their time, though?
There were some people who were backed up before their time and then sleeved later, but they only get temporary sleeving. It's all about the almighty dollar.
Yeah, well, the rich have some really twisted ideas on immortality. Unfortunately, though, they're coming to fruition, though, I think.
They're coming to a city near you.
They are coming to a city near you.
But they've been wanting to clone and do this concept since, like, I'm trying to think, like 70s. I know I was hearing stuff like that.
Right.
The sci-fi concept, but.
Well, now, the way that the packaging comes, though, is reminiscent of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, because it's like in this like
just a pod
packaging, and it's real skin, it's real like bone, real everything, and there's a I've got 2 or 3 different clips of it, so we'll watch that here in just a few.
I'm gonna need to grab my whiskey. God damn it!
Yeah, you probably are.
Yeah.
And I'll grab the expletive button so we can.
Okay. Yeah, you're gonna have to bleep me out.
Okay. I don't want to bleep you out.
This is one that disturbed me quite a bit. Can you see that? He just squinted his eyes. I have no idea what that is. And I think there's teeth to go with it.
The dog, is it dog suns where you see the sun in 2 other spots too? I mean, there are optical illusions that do occur. They're atmospheric. They are, they can be explained away. I don't buy the Cloud City story. They're weird.
Right.
Okay, I'm from Southern California. What's a Cloud City?
People are sitting in the clouds. It's not.
Okay,
they're clouds, and on the cloud is a city, skyscrapers, buildings.
So
you can see
they
the
had
shape of the whole size skyscape.
And there were no alternative drugs. Just kidding.
No. I mean, like sober, very
sober
people are seeing these things.
That's awesome. I know I've seen some amazing things in clouds, but I have not seen a city.
When you get a chance, just Google it and see what comes up.
Cool.
Interesting stuff, and the video footage is just trippy. Okay, we've got 2 minutes. First of all, guys, thank you so much for putting some time aside tonight. Totally appreciate it. Trent, we didn't get a chance to hear that much from you guys, and my apologies. So that just means you'll have to come back again.
I will.
I'd love to come back.
Cool. Awesome. Stormy, and yes, ma'am, I will hold you to that.
Please do.
Awesome. Kids, can we get a quick word to the world from everybody? Doug, Oz, and Robin, you know what this is. Let's do a on the way out word to the world from everyone. And okay, let me shut up. Go. Whoever wants to go.
Okay, everyone.
Try and be safe.
Yeah, be safe, be blessed, and life is precious. So be present. Right now is all we have.
And God bless the Presley family. The horrific things that have happened to that family over the years. It's just mind-blowing.
No doubt.
So,
no
prayers
doubt
to the Presleys.
Yeah. Doug.
The fullest. You never know what's going to happen.
Right. Okay. Wow. Stormy, you said be safe.
I said be kind, be safe.
Be kind, be safe. Awesome. Okay, that I can do. Oz. Well, on behalf of Oz and the rest of the people at the network, we just want to say thank you so much for tuning in tonight. this has been a HLT, Hook, Line, and Thinker podcast get together. I'm DJ D Phoenix. Don't go anywhere. We've got more stuff coming up right after this. Oz, you want to say goodbye to the kids? All right then.
Bye, kid.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be back after this. Guys, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
No,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Well, and thanks everybody.
Diggity.
There were a number of
There were no
X-Files
more.
shows that were based on his stuff. Okay, so here's John. John.
Here's Johnny.
Eventually building up this campaign of fear, which is what they're doing to make people feel to appease. Ultimately, towards, I'll tell you, the next step, it's a really difficult to do. The next step, because they need to keep building up the fear of the UAPs. The next step is really for the UAPs to start shooting down our commercial airliners and our military jets from the skies. That, I believe, is going to happen very, very soon.
So the fear, first we're hearing these Chinese balloons, we're hearing these stories about these things, and for decades we've heard that these things are benevolent, that if anything they want peace. If they're over Maelstrom Air Force Base in Montana, that they don't want us using nuclear weapons, etc. Right? Anyone that follows these stories and knows the eyewitness accounts of the members of the military at Maelstrom Air Force Base, they were there and they were shutting off nuclear warheads that were not even connected to one another, right? With redundant systems. They were separately plugged in, basically. Right? They pulled out a surge protector. They were separately turned offline while this UFO was hovering above Maelstrom Air Force Base. And this is confirmed by members of the Air Force. But this is not me saying this. This is the Air Force saying this. So we've heard for decades that these are benevolent, and now we're going to start to hear, they're going to start to use this story with these man-made craft, whether by Raytheon, whatever, to start creating problems, so that we think that these are some otherworldly beings, but they're really us doing it. And they're going to start shooting down aircraft now. That's crazy, and I've heard similar things, so I'm not,
Okay, what do you think?
Brittany.
I've noticed that, and that's the reason why you think?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Are you guys familiar with who Bob Lazar is?
Yes. Here's a quick one. I want to bounce off you guys. What a chunk of that what is it? Pentium or 151 or whatever it is. What if a giant chunk of that is under this Skinwalker Ranch?
Pentium 151.
That account for the bad weird readings.
Hey, the actual anti-gravity energy that has been powering these considered to be anti-gravity ships that we're seeing moving around.
That's legit then?
I don't know. I'm just saying what if there's a chunk of this down and it's causing this large electromagnetic field to expand already, because you're already in an electromagnetic field.
That would account for the UFO traffic coming in and making stops.
It would accidentally create a porthole, and because of the lack of water, it creates a clearer and crisper access to space. Because of the lack of water, the only difference between our atmosphere and space is the water itself, and that depreciates in the desert. And also why these ships have a tendency to, again, I'm going to identify Abrahamic stuff. I'm going all the way back to Samaritan, all that original dropping of the word, I call it, where they drop the written language to create civilized societies so human beings would kill themselves quicker.
E-break, I think I missed something.
Jeff's got a little bit of head knowledge going on.
I try to suck in everything I hear.
Concepts, the ancient alien concepts that have been boring the hell out of me after the 5th season, because they repeated themselves, is accurate up to a point. And I think that even to building the theology, and I was raised around the Bible a lot, is that what if Jesus was speaking about those guys when he was speaking about the little g's? And what if he was talking about something else that was already here because we're already alive? And it's not them keeping us alive. So, and this was the little g, big G concept in the Bible.
And when you, by little g, big G, you're talking about the word God.
Yeah,
God
and this is
versus
identified that word is a misnomer of ignorance.
So there's gods and goddesses. And to me, that equates